Sophie Cunningham showed that she is, the old Caitlin Clark enforcer. She is the Caitlin Clark enforcer. That has been shown. She is the enforcer that the Fever have needed for the last year, and she has responded.
What does it take to make an entire league stop and take notice? Sophie Cunningham just redefined what it means to be an enforcer in the WNBA. The moment Caitlin Clark hit the hardwood, Sophie transformed not just into a teammate, but into the fiercest protector the league has seen in years. From the infamous eye poke that lit the fire, to becoming Clark's on-court bodyguard, Cunningham is rewriting the narrative. But what really went down in that explosive showdown? And why can't anyone stop talking about it? The truth might just shock you.
This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete. And they're going to have their teammates' backs. It's exactly what you expect, right? Out of fierce competition. So
matchup against the Connecticut Sun reached its breaking point. Tensions were already high when Caitlin Clark hit the deck, and that's when everything escalated. JCS Sheldon was defending her tightly, reaching in with aggressive intent. Then came the swipe, fast, but deliberate, and it landed squarely across Clark's face, striking her right in the eye. She recoiled instantly, hand to her face, blinking rapidly in pain. You could see it. In her eyes, not just the sting, but the frustration. The message was clear. This game had just turned personal.
By the way, Sophie Cunningham, she wanted to. It looked like Sophie Cunningham was about to throw some knees at her. Like, she had her in an MMA hold. Like, Sophie Cunningham could have got this MMA fight ended. She could have got this fight ended quickly. Today, look, it is revenge from this happening. So JC Sheldon gets Caitlin Clark in the eye, then belly bumps Caitlin, and then Marina Mabrey, as she's walking away, knocks her on her ass.
I mean, she's a needle mover, and she's got an enforcer on the team now, and a black belt having Sophie Cunningham. Don't look now, the Fever are about to win WNBA title, just like they're about to win the Commissioners.
This year, they're taking no shit. It is so awesome to see.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I'm happy she's got Sophie on the team.
Yep.
She needed that.
Yeah.
She needed that on the team, and I wouldn't mind maybe some of the other members of the team, doing some stuff.
Send some messages.
I think Caitlin and Sophie Cunningham, I think they are going to become must-watch, and I think it's good for the city of Indianapolis. But with that being said, the Fever know that they're targets.
Yeah.
Caitlin understands it at this point, and I love that she is yet to waver. It's just like, we're singular focus of next game, I'm getting better.
What happened with Sophie Cunningham? So Sophie Cunningham, she went and got revenge. Sophie Cunningham, JC Sheldon's driving to the basket. Sophie Cunningham takes her down. Normal enough take foul. Lindsay Allen gets her by the neck. Yeah, Sophie Cunningham has just shown that if you are going to do something to Caitlin, it's not going to be free anymore. It's not going to be free. Caitlin's not the one standing up for herself, because no offense, I would take JC Sheldon in a fight over Caitlin Clark. Because at the end of the day, JC Sheldon has nothing to lose. JC Sheldon can take a 5-game suspension. It makes no difference. What she posted as soon as it happened. This is in the locker room. This is before the game ended. Before the game ended. She comes out in the locker room and posts this. What are we doing?
W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore. Okay? She's already proved herself. She's won. And then there were some, ladies last night that were trying to go a little physical. Weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom!
Wow.
JC Sheldon, that's cute. You want to poke her in the eye, then push her into a boom Mabry thing? Go ahead. I'll take a take foul, and you'll eat the deck a little bit here.
Best possible response, just a picture of her shrugging her shoulders. Because look, that is what Sophie Cunningham is. That is what Sophie Cunningham is. Sophie Cunningham is an enforcer. They didn't people weren't saying she was the enforcer for no reason. People weren't saying that. The enforcer's job is to make sure that nobody messes with her. It's what's happened. It's how things are meant to go. People just want enforcers. People want enforcers, but at the end of the day, people aren't going to celebrate enforcers when enforcers are enforcers. Sophie Cunningham is in a situation where she can take a 5-game suspension. She can take a 5-game suspension for the greater good of the team, just like Charles Oakley could, just like Bill Laimbeer could with Isaiah Thomas. Like, these people all have the ability to be enforcers. Again, teams are going to have to think twice, because, by the way, if people think Sophie Cunningham's the only player in the Fever that's going to do something like this, there are players in the Fever that will take someone out. But there are players on the Fever team that will knock someone on their ass, not named Sophie Cunningham. Again, not to this extent. Not taking somebody down and getting them in a freaking Muay Thai clinch and look like she's like contemplating whether or not she's going to throw up some knees to end the fight soon. Either she got celebrated for doing all this. She got celebrated for all this in Phoenix, by the way. She got celebrated for this type of things because she's Diana Taurasi's protege, joins the Indiana Fever. She got suplexed in her first game, and the same people celebrating her being suplexed are calling for her to be kicked out of the league. It's basketball, and this is the referee's fault at the end of the day. Like, it is the referee's fault, because this does not happen if the referee just stops this early. If the referee chucks Marina Mabry when that happens, if the referee chucks JC Sheldon when she clawed Caitlin Clark in the face, none of this happens. And if the WNBA referees are as trigger happy teeing up Caitlin, it is now going to be a thing. We can rough her up, we can get in her head, we can shove her, and the refs aren't going to call it. And then when she retaliates, it's going to be a tag.
They need to do their jobs, blow the whistle, and officiate properly. Hand out flagrants, kick people out of games, nip it in the bud. But continuously, over and over again now, we see Caitlin Clark on the receiving end of something, and it's not called correctly. Constant problem now. You know, it is something that since the beginning, I've kind of like backed off on, because physical play is a part of sports. You know, going after a superstar and trying to rough them up a little bit to get in their head is a part of sports. But when it crosses the line, the referees need to do their jobs. She gets a technical foul after getting poked in the eye and then shoved to the floor, and Marina Mabry doesn't even get thrown out of the game. It's basically open season on Caitlin Clark, and the special whistle that she supposedly gets goes in the other direction. Flagrantly so.
So wish that Coach Stephanie White would have gotten a technical in that situation. I wish she would have gotten those referees' faces and lit them up. Take a technical. At this point in time, you know that you can't get ejected, because we saw a shove to the ground on a non-basketball play and she didn't get ejected for that.
On screen, for those of you who get the reference, you know, with this photo back then, and subsequently, you know, in this game as well. And again, there's a certain level, like in the first half, it was fine. Sheldon and her, a little shove, Mabry, a little shove, that's fine. But when she's getting poked in the eye, knocked to the floor, and people aren't getting ejected and she's getting a technical foul too, there's a problem. I forget everybody who got thrown out of this damn game. Sophie Cunningham gets thrown out. She's playing the enforcer role for the Fever, which they desperately needed. So good for her for stepping up in that moment. That spicy Sophie Cunningham. And then there was Stephanie White, who once again stepped up for her players in the midst of the officiating issues. This video courtesy of Scott Agnes.
There wasn't an explanation for the tech that she got. You know, I think it was pretty obvious that stuff was brewing, right? When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long. All season long. It's not just this game. It's been happening all season long. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete. And they're going to have their teammates' backs. It's exactly what you expect, right? Out of fierce competition. So I started talking to the officials in the first quarter, and we knew this was going to happen. You could tell it was going to happen. So they got to get control of it. They got to be better. They got to be better. Every year when we have our league meetings in the fall and in the spring, we say the same thing over and over and over. And nothing has changed.